Hey everybody, welcome to Pace Studio on the Road. We are here in Cambridge at Club Passim with Peter Mulvey. Peter, thanks for doing this today, man.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you. Oh, man. Thank you.
Man, it's great to see you again. It's been, I thought that we had encountered each other more recently than 2017, but then I went back to the internet and it's been that long. It's just, you made an impression. It seems like we were hanging out like 6 months ago.
Exactly. But no, it was right at the beginning of this nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've had, a prolific career, including the years between 2017 and now. There's been a lot. You've put out two studio albums and a live record since then.
Absolutely. I just keep working. I don't know why. I guess that'll be on my headstone, you know. He did his work.
And so I think that the plan still is to go through chronologically through the entire catalog and start with an earlier record and play all the way through something that you wrote yesterday, a couple days ago, right?
Yes, that struck me as good a plan as any. So, I'll start with this tune. So when we last saw each other, I had just put out this record, Are You Listening?, which was produced by Ani DeFranco. We made it down in her home studio in New Orleans, and this is the title track. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? I got a new life. I got a new life. I'm listening. Are you telling me? Are you telling me? Are you telling me? I think you're telling me you got a new life. You got a new life. I'm listening. Love you so. Oh, I love you so. I just love you so. Oh, I love you so. You got a new life. You got a new life. And I love you so. Am I listening? Am I listening? Am I listening? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
How do you keep up with Ani on a regular-ish basis?
I do, yeah. We check in. I think I did a few shows with her, but we don't tour together a ton, so we kind of have to if we're going to hear from each other. Just once in a while, text her.
Yeah, and I think I don't think I'm making this up. I think that she did one of your Lamplighter sessions,
she did
right?
This year, yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, which is so cool. I mean, you've had Aeneas Mitchell, of course, Hadestown fame, Mark Arelli, who was just on this stage with us yesterday,
he's
and
a peach, that guy.
Yeah, what's going on with Lamplighter? Is that an ongoing thing?
It is. So I think at Passim, this was our 10th year of doing it every October here at Club Passim, and this year, obviously, we couldn't have an audience in, but we did all pod up and get tested. I think we did 4 of the shows from here in the club, and then 2 shows were done sort of remotely, bringing people in through streaming. And then one night I just played Scrabble against the Passim audience.
How'd you do?
Single-handedly.
Nice. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, man. And I mean, clearly, your history with this place your history is very much intertwined with the history of this place, as evidenced by your portrait on the wall, which is now in my hands. The internet is seeing. Yeah. And I've been studying up too, man. When we were talking about Eric von Schmidt's book, "Baby, Let Me Follow You Down," and man, it's fascinating to be in this place and to be making new history right now with you. We really appreciate you being here and playing.
Yeah, this place is so crazy and so central, I moved to the Boston area in the autumn of 1992. And one of the people that I met was Chris Smither, who's a dear friend and has been my mentor. And, here in this room, we did his 60th birthday party where we all played his tunes. And, and that was 17 years ago. He's 59.
Yeah, dude, that guy has looked great as he's aged. His portrait's just sitting right over there, and it was taken 25 years ago. Dude looks the same.
The dude is a mutant. Yeah, he was putting up garden beds. He lives in Amherst near me. I live in Florence, and he was putting in garden beds. And so he called me up to do the sort of post-hole digging section of it and the sort of moving beds, and he worked my ass into the ground. It's appalling.
Well, man, his session was a ton of fun. We had him here yesterday or 2 days ago. I forget. This has been a
blur, right?
Whirlwind of action. Yeah, but we really appreciate you being here. And there's a lot more music of yours to share with the internet as we move forward chronologically through your catalog.
Right. So this the very next record I made, and I guess it came out in 2019, was it's called "There Is Another World." And it kind of stayed in the family in a way. The producer on that record was Todd Sikafus, who is Ani DeFranco's bass player and also the musical director of Hadestown as well. So, and I went out to Eugene, Oregon with this batch of tunes, and then he brought his cadre of people. And this is a tune from the record called "Who's Gonna Love You Now?" ? So we're 2 songs in. There's 2 titles with question marks. When this bird has flown, when spring has sprung, when what you used to know like the back of your hand isn't even on the tip of your tongue, when the chips have settled, when the dust is down, when you have washed off the grease paint and you're still a clown, who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you now? Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you now? Now. When the bottle is empty, when the money is gone, when you are just another angry old man shouting, "Get off of my lawn," when your tree has fallen and there was no one to hear it, when your heart is a cornered stray and you can't get near it, who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you now? Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you now? Now. When the very bottom dollar has gone to the last top dog, when the princess has kissed you soundly and you are still a frog, when there's no way through, when the only way is out, when it is all over but the shouting and you're too tired to shout, tell me who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you now? Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you now? Now. Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you now? Now. Now. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Skeleton Crew, thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Skeleton Crew on purpose. We want to make sure that we're limiting everybody's exposure, doors open, etc.
Yeah.
Masks, latex gloves, all of it. It's so weird, man. Everything about this is weird. Last time we got to hang out was not weird at all. You gave me a metal coffee mug. I still have that mug. I drink out of that mug. Woo! Yep. Everything was normal then.
Totally. And Noam
Pakelny
Pakelny came in afterwards. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he knew who I was, which is weird, but then he's actually married to a friend of ours here at the...
And they did a session together, actually. The second Noam session he did with...
Caitlin.
With Caitlin, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them. Those humans.
Yeah.
Oh, Nashville.
And it was we were trying to connect in March of 2020 when everything hit the fan. I think we were trying to get together on March 20th of 2020, and the New York studio closed down on March 17th. So the timing clearly didn't work there. I'm sure your New York trip was canceled as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so since we haven't, we didn't get that chance to connect. So it's been 3 years, and I know you've been a hard touring, like a constant touring dude for your career.
Yeah.
What have you been doing to fill that amount of time that's not available to tour any longer?
As luck would have it, I in January of 2020, I made 2 records. I went to the Cafe Carp, which is sort of my other spiritual home, like the Passim of Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, is sort of what that place is. And I have this band that I work with out there, these sisters, and they go by Sista Strings, and they sing and they play cello and violin. And we have a drummer, our pal Nathan Keelan. And so the 4 of us decamped to the Cafe Carp, and we made a studio record on 3 successive days, and on 2 successive nights, we made a live record. And then literally 2 weeks later, the world shut down. And so I have those records. The live record came out this autumn, and I think the studio record will come out this summer. But the thing that I've done with my time, so I started I've done live streams, and luckily, because I've been on the road for 30 years, I have an audience, and I launched a Patreon, and a lot of them hopped on board there, and people are very generous on the live streams. And, I've been in this business a long time, and I've noticed most venues do not have the support network that the artists do, and most sidemen do not have the support network. All of those things are sort of exaggerated the way that a crash like this will happen. So most of my live streams, I've been partnering with venues, and just finding ways. Like the record did pretty good, so I bonused the musicians. In the absence of a federal government that's showing true seriousness about floating its citizenry through this, the citizenry has done fairly well. I feel like we're doing the best we can to float ourselves all collectively. You know, like that was another thing I always did was I would ask a food bank if we could partner and do a live stream, like a venue and a food bank, or a venue and a sort of a advocacy group for evictions. You know, like whatever it is, we collectively, luckily, have won enough space to be of some use to each other, and hopefully all this crap will open back up in maybe the next 9 months, and by then. I don't know. Until then, let's just try to make Jacinda Ardern the god empress of the planet Earth, you know?
Man, well, dude, thank you for doing our thing today. This is, it's wonderful to partner for us, for Paste Magazine as an outlet to partner with Passim, and to have you, Peter Mulvey, here. It seems like a pretty righteous trio going on here. And this is a lot of fun, and there's a lot more music left. What do you feel like doing third today?
Well, here's a tune. I won't really be able to do it justice, but this is from the record, Peter Mulvey with Sister Strings live at the Cafe Carp. So, I mean, the very first thing you would hear if I had the ladies here, you know, on either side is that, you know, da 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 woo, you know, this beautiful string introduction. So you can all be disappointed that you're not hearing that. This is called Don't You Ever Change. Don't you ever change, don't you change on me. Don't you ever change, don't you change on me. Don't you change. 'Cause if you ever change, if you change on me, if you ever change, it would rain on me. Don't you change. Love was everything that they told me it would be. Everything they told me, but I wouldn't listen. Baby, are you listening to me? Baby, are you listening? Every time you change, when you change on me, every time you change, it just rains on me. Don't you change? Don't you change? Don't you change? Thank you. I should have mentioned I co-wrote that tune with John Seeger, and we debated long and hard over whether we were allowed a semi-appropriationist, calm little cha-cha-cha at the end of that tune. Like, we gave it to ourselves.
Nice. Well, I enjoyed that very much, as have I this entire set. And I meant to, are you familiar with Lyra Lynn by any chance, Nashville artist?
Yeah.
We did this a month ago, and she's got a song called, permit me this digression just for a second.
Of
kind
course.
of neither here nor there, but she's got a tune called Are You Listening? And it's tremendous, and it's been stuck in my head since Nashville, and now I've got your Are You Listening? And I mean,
I gotta check that out.
Strikingly different tunes. They're both equally delightful, though.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Always. I mean, that's, you, right? Is it true you cannot copyright a title Help me out, somebody. I don't know. I
internet?
read that somewhere. You're not allowed to copyright a title. And
Internet
that strikes
chime
me
in
as-
here. Is that true? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully.
So you mentioned earlier the Patreon, that songwriting group that you have going on Patreon. Can you dig into that a little bit more and how
Sure.
interested
Yes.
parties might be able to participate?
So I like a lot of artists, I fired up a Patreon once the road was sort of taken away from me as a means to make a living, and there's all these tiers, like at $3 a month and $5 a month. It's kind of a beautiful thing. It's like the Medicis, only they're very widespread and very nice people. And mostly what I do there is like do interviews and little essays and post some new song that I'm working on. And I have a little series called Poetry Hour with Mabel Dog, where I read my dog a poem while my dog mostly yawns and sleeps and licks herself. But then I decided I wanted to start this weekly songwriting group, and I was a little knocked out. Like, I think 80 people immediately signed up. And so every Tuesday, basically, I throw out a song prompt, and then every Tuesday we write a song based on the latest song prompt, and then we put them all on a spreadsheet, and everyone gives everyone else feedback. And it's kind of beautiful. So between us, we're probably churning out couple 300 songs a month. And most of them are going to be workaday songs, but every once in a while you get one that really sort of lands or connects. And certainly it puts you in that position where they're not important. Like, you just keep the pen moving and keep thinking of melodies, and something will strike you. It makes lightning a little more likely to strike your head. That's the principle. But it's been fun. And I have a song. So today's Friday. So I finished this on Tuesday night on the eve of the inaugural. And this is called Eve of the Inaugural. Little one in the car seat in the back of a Honda that your mother is fueling at the pump next to mine, and the screens on each pump chatter at the grown-ups, American consumers in an orderly line. On the eve of the inaugural, snow is falling, and the mind, as they say, is amazed by its fall. And my left hand is freezing, and your face is so perfect, and I see in your eyes our history's call. And I smile in the way that we hominids do when we see a little baby hominid like you. And you smile back with a look of joy or indigestion, and I shiver straight down to my bones. Little one, may I remind you that you and I live in the 80th decade of a steady decline of violence, which has been the curse of our species, and so things probably should, and yet they don't feel just fine. 'Cause on the eve of the inaugural, there's a look of pure nervousness on every face that I see. I mean, I know things rise and things fall, but like everyone else, I never thought that applied to you and me. And I smile in the way that we hominids do when we see a little baby hominid like you. And you smile back with a look of joy or indigestion, and I shiver right down to my bones. Little one, I bequeath you this hurtling rock with its rainforest lung and its molten iron heart, its tattered oceans and tired flora and fauna, among whom we hominids have made a tentative start. Good luck, everybody.
All right. Man, this has been a ton of fun. I'm very impressed. There's no lyric sheet there anywhere. You wrote that on Tuesday.
I wrote that on Tuesday.
Hominid, indigestion, bequeath. There's a lot of words, and you remembered all of them.
Yeah.
Man, this has been a lot of fun, and hopefully it's not 3 years again before we see each other next.
Oh, yeah,
And,
let's make sure to do this before, the next, who knows what, like before the giant caldera blows up in the Midwest and then the mutant wolves take over Illinois, you know?
Yep, and then Nebraska falls into the sinkhole. Man, this has been great. I'll see you in 2 years, and then you know we'll just keep progressing. It'll be a year after that, and then we'll just be hanging.
We'll be old men.
Yep.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.